So, hi, I'm Joanna Fantozzi, Associate Editor with Restaurant Hospitality, and we're here with Dorcia Whitebrake, the first social equity franchisee with Los Angeles-based restaurant chain and social enterprise, Everytable. She's going to be talking to us about her involvement with Everytable's new franchisee program aimed at highlighting and empowering business owners of color. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Joanna. It's my pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Before we dive into specifics, can you tell me a bit about your background and your background with Everytable?
Oh, well, my background, I've been an entrepreneur since 2010. And I started a small company where I was doing some cleaning and that type of thing. And it's been kind of on and off and, sporadic, and then especially during COVID. But I had that entrepreneurial spirit, I should say, for a long time. And so when I met Sam, that was through the Feast program, at which I graduated from. And I also was asked to be on the board. I was voted in to be on the board of Feast. And I did a lot of volunteering with Feast. And so, when Sam approached me about working as a store manager, at first I was a little hesitant because I was like, I have so much going on, and I had never done anything as far as, working with food. And so I was kind of hesitant about it, but I went ahead and took on the challenge, and it was just so beautiful because I knew it was going to be dealing with food justice and helping people who have food insecurities, and I was like, this is something I really want to get into. And next thing you know, here I am.
Mm-hmm. So could you tell me a bit about your involvement with the program feeds?
With the oh yeah, Feast. So I graduated from Feast in 2015, and then I started volunteering, helping doing the cooking demonstrations and leading classes. And we have a group who comes in, and we sit in a circle and we talk, and everybody gets listened to, and it's super important, because you don't get listened to. You think you are getting listened to, but you're not. And so when you sit there and that entire group is supporting you, listening to you, you get a chance to talk and be heard. And that's so important. And all the ladies and gentlemen in that circle are there because each of them have a different type of journey, but we all have something in common, and it usually is that we're trying to get healthy. And
Mm-hmm.
so with Feast, that's been so amazing just to be part of that. And then when I was asked to be on the board, I was just like, whoa, and when I was voted onto the board, I was just like so excited and proud and honored. And it's been just such a great experience being on that board and just being part of fighting for food justice.
Mm-hmm. And for those that might not know exactly what it is, what is fees?
So Feast is a nonprofit organization with the mission to fight food justice. So Feast is an acronym, and it stands for Food Education Access Support Together.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we do is we get a group together. People apply for the group, and it's not like you have to go through a bunch of um, you know um, interviews or anything like that. You just apply, and then you're asked, why do you want to be in it? And then once you're accepted into the group, it's wonderful. We meet once a week. That same group meets once a week for 16 weeks, where we are actually getting to talk. Then we get an educational segment on food, whatever it is. The topic might be sugar, the topic might be food deserts, the topic might be, knowing how to read ingredients and shopping. And then there's also a cooking demonstration. So each meeting lasts approximately 2 hours. So there's a check-in, then there's a closing, and then at the end, there's each person that's participating gets a certificate for groceries. So like a little gift card to go and buy the groceries that they need to be able to practice making the meal that we actually had during the meeting. So that way they don't have to spend their own money. And then we also many times provide a box of vegetables and fruits, and it's always, organic and fresh and locally grown, I should say, not necessarily organic, but locally grown. So
Mhm.
yeah,
So
yeah.
between that and Everytable, it seemed like you're passionate about this topic.
Absolutely. Yeah. My mother passed away from cancer, and I've dealt with a lot of just illnesses in my family, like people with hypertension, family members with diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, like I mentioned. And so I started on my journey many years ago to try to be healthy. And so when I heard about Feast, I just had to be part of it. And I've always been a person to, try to help other people, and not push the issue, but at least be a good example to my own family and to my own body. So being part of Feast, it just gives me so much satisfaction, and just knowing, how many people we're helping, all the groceries that we're providing for people, even like during the pandemic. We were giving out so many bags of groceries, and we had people come and volunteer, Feast members and Feast board members,
Mhm.
participants, I should say. And yeah, we were delivering groceries to door, to our participants' doors. So that way they could continue. And our groups continued during pandemic. We graduated several groups. So it's been
Great.
amazing. Mhm.
And so what was your reaction then when you found out about the franchisee program at the new franchisee program at Everytable?
I was completely floored. When Sam reached out to me a few months ago, he was kind of frantically calling me and
Mhm.
saying, I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you. We have to meet up. And it was just, and I said, well, what is this about? So once we finally got on Zoom, and he said, Dorcia, I want you to be the first social equity franchisee. I couldn't believe it. I had heard about this and I knew it was coming, but I didn't know who that person would be, or how it was exactly going to work. So I was so excited. I think I probably cried, because I knowing me. But I immediately knew that it was something that I wanted to do. He told me to think about it for 2 days. He said, get back to me in a couple of days. And I was just like, can I get back to you in 2 hours? Because I already know that I'm gonna say yes. And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so honored. I just can't wait. I'm in the store now. Our store opened on Tuesday. We had a soft opening. So we are up and running. So, for anyone who wants to come in and get their grab and go meals,
Oh,
we're there.
congratulations. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
And so why do you think then that this type of program is important? And to me, I've never heard of anything like it. And I feel like Everytable itself is it's kind of very social equity
Yeah.
minded. And so kind of why do you think that we need this type of program?
Oh, wow. I think we need this type of program because, first of all, we have so many people who want to do something like this, who have had that entrepreneurial spirit, but don't have the means to be able to open a store, who may not ever qualify for a loan because they don't have the collateral. And so this is going to change lives. I know for myself and for my children, it's definitely going to impact us in a very positive way, especially, financially, and, and then other people who will see myself. I'm a African American woman, and here I am owning a store through this amazing program, and it'll be inspirational to so many people. I actually had a gentleman come in yesterday, and he said he had never been there, so I started to tell him about Everytable, and he says, what's your name? And I said, Dorcia. And he said, so you're the first social equity franchisee. And it just brought a tear to my eye, because he said, I came here just to meet you and to let you know that people who look like you are supporting you. And I was just like, wow. That right there, it just, it told me that I know that I made the right decision. I know that this program is going to give so many people an opportunity that was not possible. To build wealth, is not something that is easy to do, especially when you don't come from that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Absolutely. And we've spoken to a couple of entrepreneurs, particularly in this crazy year,
Hmm.
that we've spoken about how the data shows that uh, that that entrepreneurs of color have disproportionately had to close their restaurants
Yeah.
due to COVID, or also have disproportionately not received PPP loans.
Yes.
And just like speaking about, I guess the inequalities within the business world um, how you go about getting a loan or owning a business,
Hmm.
and how this type of opportunity might sort of narrow that gap.
Hmm. Right. I definitely think this kind of opportunity will narrow that gap because I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on other companies. To be honest, I just feel like every table is leading the way to do something that no one else has ever done before. And I'm hoping that it'll catch on where other groups will see that this is something that should be happening. It's not like it's a handout. I have worked very hard to get where I am, and I have done, from what I've been told, I've been doing a great job as a manager. And from the beginning, we've taken ownership. All of us in every table, we take ownership of our stores. And so now I just, at this moment, I'm working the exact same way I have been, and I'm just hoping that like you said, that this this opportunity where people like myself are going to be a franchisee, that it's going to open doors that haven't been opened before.
Hmm. And what is your, now you mentioned that you didn't really have as much have experience in food service world before you became a
Mhm.
manager. So what has your journey and experience been like from starting off as a manager to becoming an owner?
Oh wow. So, at the beginning, I was kind of really struggling, but every table is so amazing because we have a team that is so supportive. And even though I felt in my mind that I was struggling, in reality, I really had so much support that I could make a quick phone call, an email. There was somebody coming in the store, either the district manager or the VP, or another manager who's actually a senior manager, and they always check on you to make sure things are going right. They're in, watching, kind of not like stalking you, but at the same time keeping an eye to make sure that you're on point. And so for me, that was super helpful. And at the time I was working as a teacher's assistant as well, so I was kind of combining Everytable and my other job, to supplement my income. And so I would at times feel like I was kind of being pulled, but at the same time, once I really made the decision that Everytable was what I really wanted to focus on, and I left my other job, that just made it so much better, so much easier. I was able to give all of my energy to Everytable, to managing my store. And then after 3 years of I should say 3 years of working with Everytable, and now been a manager for, I guess it's been about a year and a half. The time flew by. So I feel like I'm really prepared, to do something like this, and I'm so excited.
Awesome. And something that I saw in the press release that's I think is pretty interesting is that you had the idea to partner with a black-owned coffee business to the Hot and Cool Cafe. Could you tell me
Yeah.
about your partnership with them?
So from what I know, we have a partnership with Hot and Cool Cafe, and we'll be proudly serving Crenshaw coffee. So Tony came in, and he's one of the owners of Hot and Cool Cafe, and he's an amazing person. He showed us how we're gonna be, putting the coffee together using the machine that we're using. And he's super excited about Everytable. We're super excited about serving the coffee in our store as well. So that's just having a black owner of a store, and then a black owned company's coffee being served in our store as well. That is just so amazing.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely very exciting to have that partnership,
Hmm.
and to kind of, I guess, show support of the community. Um,
Absolutely.
so I guess, what is your hope for the future of both your store and the program? And do you think that this type of equity-minded endeavor could catch on with other companies?
My hope for the future is that I will definitely be successful as, with my franchise. And I would love to own more than one Everytable. I could see myself owning more than one. And I'm hoping that my children will get involved as well. Because my actually two of my kids, they're adults, of course, and they work for Everytable, my daughter and my son. And I'm hoping that other people, I know actually that there will be several other managers who will go on to do this exact same thing. And I do hope that other companies will catch on and see this is the wave of the future. This is what we're supposed to do to be able to help people. People of color have struggled for a very long time, and it's not because we haven't worked hard, it's because the system has held us down, honestly, the disenfranchisement and, that type of thing. So it's time to do something. It's time to do something. It's time, to make a change. And I just believe that every table is definitely leading that change.
Hmm. And so it's time for some lifting up instead of holding down.
Be sure to check out more of our content at restaurant-hospitality.com.